morning has come. Arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe truth is larger than any one book or way. Religion and science go hand in hand. Integrity requires freedom of conscience. Diversity is something to celebrate. In the struggle for justice, we come alive. Our highest aspiration and calling is love. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever path you are on, you are welcome here.
We light this chalice for our children and youth and for us, celebrating the flame of faith lit in each of us, honoring the light each of us bring into the world, rejoicing in the community we create together.
Good morning, West Shore. How are you this morning? How the heck are you? Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. So good you're here. Best place to be on a Sunday morning in Cleveland. We have so much good that is going on. Check out the West Shore Weekly in your order of service about events coming up and how you can get involved. I want to bring two things to your attention. Next Saturday, May 16th, it is West Shore's Day of Community Service. West Shore will send out multiple groups into the larger community doing practical things to make Cleveland a better place. People of all ages can participate, help clean up a beach, plant flowers, do some gardening, sort clothing, get dirty, and feel good about it, all right? Because you are showing Cleveland that West Shore makes a difference in our community. You can sign up for a project in the rotunda. There's sign-up sheets there. You can also sign up on Realm. It'll make you feel good. You'll also get a free t-shirt. So how's that for that, right? That is next Saturday, May 16th from 9 a.m. to noon. And then we'll all come back here and have a wonderful lunch together. So it'll be a great time. There's a correction to an item in today's West Shore Weekly. Next Sunday service is our Spring Choral Sunday. The West Shore Choir will be joined with a chamber orchestra in presenting the oratorio considering Matthew Shepard. This is a powerful and deeply moving oratorio inspired by the tragic and horrific 1998 murder of Matthew Shepard, a 21-year-old gay college student in Laramie, Wyoming. You will not want to miss this next Sunday's service. And now, a message from our Board of Trustees President, Vicki Warden. Yeah, come on. That's awesome.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of being up here, so. But today, this is an important announcement. There's been some confusion. We just wanted to clarify it right now, in case there's any question. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to share with you an important update regarding the proposed ICE memorial installation. At its meeting on this Thursday evening, this past Thursday, the board voted to postpone the congregational meeting that was originally scheduled for next Sunday, the 17th, when you, as voting members, would have been asked to decide whether or not to approve the proposal. The board made this decision to pause the process, not stop it, pause the process, because important questions have been raised about the installation's potential impact on safety, code compliance, insurance coverage, and church finances. Yes, perhaps we as the board should have asked all of these questions sooner, but we didn't. They extended beyond our normal scope of proposal research. But the good news is that when we were made aware of these possible implications, we acted quickly and decisively, as these questions deserve careful attention before we can ask you, the congregation, to vote. The vote on the proposed installation will take place. However, we are committed to responsible process. Our democratic life together as a church depends on voting members having all the information they need to make a fully informed, is that Freudian? Oh, no. Fully informed decision. The board did agree to hold a conversation today after the service so that you will have the opportunity to ask any questions that you might have about our decision. We are not discussing the merits of the proposal itself. This is about the factors surrounding the installation that could impact it and perhaps impact it negatively in our church. We know that this issue matters deeply to people in our congregation and beyond. As we move forward, we ask for patience, care, and trust in the process as we seek to balance courage with care. Thank you.
Dees. Now let me ask, if you are here for the first or second time and you don't mind people knowing, please raise a hand. Let us greet you specially. Welcome, welcome. So glad you're here this morning. We are now going to pass the peace to each other, greet each other warmly. The greeting time will end with the soundings of the bowl. All right, let's say good morning to each other. come to this good morning, remembering the journey of freedom. The land we are on was once another's. We mourn the legacies of oppression. Healing is our way forward. Joy is the birthright of all. A member of the congregation has just received an invitation from the Capital Campaign to schedule a visit, 1 hour at a convenient time and place with people they probably already know. The visit is meant to be a conversation about the future of the church, its mission, its history, the proposed projects, the questions people may have, and the opportunity to consider making a gift. Inside this perfectly reasonable invitation, however, two voices immediately appear: no and yes, and action.
Absolutely not.
We've not even read the whole invitation.
I've read enough. 1 hour of your time. That's how it starts.
It's really just 1 hour.
That's what they want you to think. Next thing you know, you're on a committee, you own a hard hat, and someone is asking you if you have strong feelings about HVAC.
It's a campaign visit with people we probably already know.
Even worse. If strangers ask me for an hour, I can say no. But if it's church people, they'll be kind, they'll be warm, they'll make eye contact. Horrifying.
The invitation says they'll meet wherever is most convenient.
My house is not convenient.
Then don't meet at your house. Meet at the church or a coffee shop or wherever works.
Fine, but I hate disrupting my routine.
Your routine?
Yes, my sacred evening rhythm.
You mean eating dinner while scrolling through your phone and saying, "Why am I so tired?"
It's a system.
It's 1 hour.
1 hour is how they get you. That's what exercise says. That's what cleaning the garage says. That's what quick trip to Costco says.
Maybe this hour could be good.
No, this hour contains logistics.
It contains connections.
It contains having to coordinate calendars with my partner, which means saying, "Can we look at calendars?" Which means discovering we've not had a real conversation since March.
Maybe that's not the worst thing.
We have jobs, kids, laundry, school forms, appointments, and a dog who has recently developed opinions.
Exactly. Maybe 1 hour to talk together about what matters to us would be good.
Don't make this meaningful. I'm trying to be irritated.
The church has been meaningful to us.
That is not the point.
That is absolutely the point.
I know why I care about the church.
Do we?
Roughly.
Sometimes it helps to say it out loud.
Fine. I care because this church gave my children a place to ask enormous questions without being told they were bad questions. I care because when my mother died, people showed up. I care because I've heard sermons here that made me want to be braver. I care because this place is one of the few rooms in my life where I don't have to pretend the world is fine.
That was suspiciously beautiful.
I contain multitudes. I'm still not scheduling the visit.
The visit is also a chance to talk about the church's history and how past capital campaigns made real change possible.
History, great. Now the building has a backstory.
Past generations built, repaired, expanded, improved, and adapted this place, not for abstract facilities, but for people that they would never meet. And now it may be our turn to do the same.
That sounds like stewardship.
It is stewardship.
I was afraid of that.
The campaign is exploring projects that require raising $4 million.
$4 million? That's not a number, that's a weather system.
Large projects require large goals.
Will there be charts?
Maybe.
I knew it. Charts is how money becomes real.
The visit is a chance to understand the project areas and ask questions.
I do have questions.
Good.
What exactly are we doing? What's urgent? What's beautiful? What's necessary? What helps mission? What helps accessibility? What helps the building stop making mysterious noises?
Those are exactly the kinds of questions the visit's for.
I resent when my resistance becomes participation.
And yes, at the end of the visit, they will ask us to consider making a gift.
I knew it. They will ask for money.
Yes,
Real money?
presumably.
Not symbolic money, not monopoly money, not I support this emotionally money.
Actual giving.
I knew this was not just about 1 hour. This is about my wallet being asked to have a spiritual experience.
I got to get back in the scene. All right. Maybe generosity is a spiritual experience.
Do not you minister me inside my own head.
The church has made a difference in our life. We wanted to be strong for others too.
Yes.
Then why panic because someone asked us to think seriously about what we can give?
Because I'm afraid we'll feel pressured.
A good visit should not pressure us. It should inform us, connect us, and invite us.
Because I'm afraid we'll have to talk honestly about our priorities.
That one may actually be true.
Rude.
People keep saying these visits are actually positive.
Of course they say that. People also say kale is good if you massage it.
No, really. People sit down together. They tell stories. They remember why the church matters. They ask real questions. They feel connected to something larger than themselves.
That does sound nice.
It is not a shakedown. It's a conversation.
And then the money part.
And then an invitation to consider what we can give.
Not being forced.
Not forcing.
Just consider.
Just consider.
Can I still be mildly dramatic?
Obviously.
Then fine.
Fine?
Fine. Schedule the visit.
At a coffee shop?
Yes. Neutral territory. Pastries nearby. Easy exit if anyone says deferred maintenance too many times.
So we'll say yes?
To 1 hour. To talk about why this place matters.
And to consider what we can give.
I still reserve the right to be awkward about money.
That's allowed.
And I reserve the right to ask whether the mysterious building noise is included in the 4 million.
Also allowed.
But yes, we can say yes to the visit.
We can say yes to the church.
To the future.
And maybe to becoming the kind of people who help build what someone else one day will inherit.
Okay, that was lovely.
Thanks.
But if anyone asks about HVAC, I'm leaving.
So if you heard something here resonating with you, I invite you to stop by the campaign table in the rotunda after the service. You can learn more about strengthening our church generation to generation. And if you would like a personal visit, 1 hour, someone will be happy to schedule one with you. The offering will now be given and gratefully received. Now entering into our For All That Is Our Lives ritual, pardon the last minute setup. This ritual is too beautiful to want to miss. So apologies for that. Let's join in our beautiful community ritual for all that is our lives. This Friday, May 15th, marks the 78th anniversary of the Nakba. The word Nakba means catastrophe in Arabic and refers to the mass displacement and dispossession of Palestinians during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. More than 700,000 Palestinians fled or were expelled from their homes, villages, and cities. Many were never permitted to return. In solemn remembrance of the Nakba and in grief for all people who suffer war, forced displacement, exile, and terrible loss, I place this stone. I'll bring these joys and sorrows into my meditations this week and pray for all that is our lives. Kids ask a staggering number of questions. According to one survey, children ask their parents more than 300 questions a day. One question every 2 minutes and 36 seconds. More than 100,000 questions a year. Any parents in here can testify to that? Questions like, why is water wet? What are shadows made of? Why do we have to go to school? Why are you so old? And then mixed in among those, the questions deepen. How did the world come to be? What happens when we die? Why are we here? How should we live? These are religious questions in the broadest and best sense. Questions about meaning, truth, suffering, goodness, mystery, mortality, and belonging. Human beings have always asked them. Whole civilizations have been built around them, which is exactly why they can make parents nervous. Because often, the child is asking the very same thing the adult is still trying to figure out. Or the adult wants to be honest without becoming controlling. Or wants to leave room for freedom and not fill it with imposed ideas. Or maybe the real anxiety is not about the child's question so much as the competing answers waiting elsewhere, in extended family, in the culture, in louder and more rigid forms of religion. So today's sermon is called 10 Commandments for Talking About Religion with Kids. And yes, since we are Unitarian Universalists, perhaps 10 suggestions might be more our speed. But whether commandments or suggestions, I think they matter. They matter for parents, grandparents, and religious educators. And they matter beyond childhood too. Because once you learn how to talk about religion with a child honestly, respectfully, and without coercion, you are also learning how to talk about religion with anyone, a spouse, a sibling, a friend, a parent, a neighbor, a stranger. Children may be our focus this Mother's Day, but the deeper subject is how to speak about ultimate things in ways that leave people more free, not less. So let us begin. First commandment, thou shalt tell, because don't ask, don't tell is a disaster. One of the most common approaches parents take to religion is silence. Say nothing. Avoid the subject. Let the child figure it out later. The reasons are understandable enough. Parents are busy. People feel unsure. People do not want to say the wrong thing. Some think religion too divisive. Some think it not important enough to bother with. But you know, silence teaches something too. Silence teaches that religion is too dangerous to discuss, or too embarrassing, or too unreal to matter. And yet, children live in a world where religion is everywhere. The questions will find them one way or another. The word God floats around in songs, holidays, politics, funerals, history books, and family gatherings. But if at home it is met with a sudden hush, as though someone has opened the wrong closet door, people notice, children notice. If we say nothing, they do not grow up untouched by religion. They grow up confused by it, anxious about it, or vulnerable to whoever answers first and most forcefully. They may take their questions elsewhere and come home full of certainty borrowed from somebody else's fear. So the first commandment is simple. Do not leave children alone in the dark. Second commandment, thou shalt answer honestly. Many adults think they should only talk about religion if they already possess final answers. But why would we want to teach our children that religion belongs only to the already certain? In a healthy home, it should be possible to say, I wonder about that too. I'm still working on that question. I don't know. Here's what I think so far. Let's find out together. To question is sometimes the answer. That is not weakness. That is spiritual maturity. Because what children need most is not the performance of certainty. They need to know that the deepest questions of life can be faced without panic or grasping. They need to learn that not knowing is not shameful. They need to see that the search for truth is not a problem to be fixed, but a part of what it means to be alive. Let them meet the seeker in you, and they may learn to honor the seeker in themselves. And really, that is true at every age. Adults also need spaces where they can say, I'm still working on that, without being treated as deficient. Honest religion begins there. Third commandment, thou shalt draw out what is already there. Children do not begin at zero. They already carry wonder. They already carry curiosity. They already carry the beginnings of reverence, bewilderment, delight, and grief. They are already trying to make sense of things. A child asks, but who made God? A child finds a dead bird and feels both horror and fascination. A child looks up at the night sky and falls silent. A child wants to know why people are cruel. A child wants to know where grandma went. That is not nothing. That is the beginning of theology. The role of parents and religious teachers is not to stuff religion into an empty container. It is to notice what is already there in seed form and help it grow. A child encountering death, beauty, injustice, or mystery is already standing at the edge of theology. The sacred does not begin when adults decide to explain it. Often it begins much earlier, with awe, with loss, with the strange knowledge that life is beautiful and fragile at the same time. One of the great tasks of spiritual care is not to smother that wonder, but draw it out. Fourth commandment, thou shalt answer creatively. One of the best ways to engage religious questions is indirectly, imaginatively, through story. Take Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who. Horton, how many of you know the story? And if you don't, I'm going to explain it. Horton, who is an elephant, hears tiny voices that no one else can hear. The other animals think he has lost his mind. They mock him. They threaten to destroy the little world that he's trying to protect. And the story raises all sorts of questions without announcing itself as a theology lesson. What do we do with realities others cannot perceive? What counts as evidence? Can you know something even if others do not? Is it right to ridicule people for believing differently? What obligations do we have toward lives that seem too small to matter? These are religious questions, moral questions, and they need not wait for college classrooms. They can begin on the living room floor. Stories disarm defensiveness. They make room. They awaken thought without making the child feel cornered. And honestly, the same is true for adults. Sometimes we can hear difficult truth better through story, image, metaphor, and music than through argument. Fifth commandment, thou shalt answer respectfully. Now let us be clear, there are harmful religious ideas in the world. There are beliefs that wound people, that shame people, dehumanize them, that justify cruelty. Those ideas should be challenged. But contempt is not the same thing as moral clarity. If children hear us mock, sneer, belittle, or dehumanize people who believe differently, they learn more than our opinion. They learn that disagreement licenses disrespect. They learn that humiliation is fair play. They learn that belonging is conditional. And then, if they ever question our beliefs, they know what's coming at them. Respect does not mean pretending all beliefs are equally healthy. It means criticizing without cruelty. It means rejecting harm without teaching hatred. It means telling the truth in a way that leaves everybody's humanity intact. This is a lesson children need. It is also a lesson many adults still need badly. Does that ring any bells for you? Sixth commandment. I'm realizing I don't have 12 fingers, so I'm not sure how I'm going to... Sixth commandment, thou shalt teach a no one left out vision. Religion at its best enlarges the circle. We begin life self-centered, as we must, but maturity means widening the boundary of our concern beyond self, beyond family, beyond our own tribe, beyond people who look like us or worship like us, vote like us, or agree with us. If our religion does not stretch the boundaries of our empathy, something has gone wrong. Children can learn this not only by being told, but by watching, by seeing adults who notice the people being excluded, by seeing compassion practiced across lines of race, class, nationality, creed, gender, sexuality, and difference. By learning not to just tolerate others, but to recognize themselves in others. It is hard to hate people once their humanity becomes real to you. That widening of the circle is not sentimental. It is sacred work. Seventh commandment, thou shalt teach boundaries too. No one left out does not mean anything goes. Compassion is not passivity. Respect is not surrender. Openness is not permission to being mistreated. And for many families, this is where the pressure really arrives. It may not be the child asking the hardest questions. It may be the relative who says, "Why do you hate God?" Or, "You've broken your mother's heart." Or, "If you loved your child, you would teach them the truth." Even in milder forms, it can still be difficult. Grandpa explains heaven. Cousin Susie explains sin. Neighbor Bob explains who is saved and who is not. And suddenly, you are not only parenting your child, you are doing theological damage control before dessert. So yes, give context where you can. Grandpa believes that because his faith teaches him that. Yes, lower the temperature where possible. Yes, avoid debates that are going nowhere, especially on social media. And yes, wherever necessary, set stronger boundaries. Because love does not require allowing yourself or your child to be spiritually pummeled. Children need to learn hospitality and self-respect. They need to know that one can be kind without being passive in the face of harm. 8th commandment, thou shalt show as well as tell. Religion is caught more than taught. You heard that one? Religion is caught more than taught. You can explain values all day long, but what lodges in the soul are practices. A candle lit before bed, a moment of shared silence, a gratitude ritual at dinner, a walk outside where someone stops and says, "Do you see that sky? Do you see those trees? Isn't that beautiful?" These small acts shape the soul. They teach attention. They teach reverence. They teach that life is not just to be managed, but noticed. They teach that love, gratitude, sorrow, and wonder deserve expression. This is true whether or not you ever use that word prayer. Small rituals can teach larger truths. Okay, 9th commandment. Thou shalt always bring it back to, does that make sense to you? One of the greatest gifts we can give children is not a prepackaged answer, but the courage to think. So, imagine your child comes home frightened because someone told her she will burn in hell for not believing the right thing. First, of course, you comfort her, you hold her, steady her. And then, when she is ready, you ask, does that make sense to you? Would a loving God act like that? If someone is loving and generous and does good, does it make sense that they would be sent to some horrible place forever? What do you think? That question, does that make sense to you, is not an invitation to arrogance. It is an invitation to conscience, to moral reasoning, to intellectual freedom. And again, this is not just for children. Many adults have spent years captive to inherited religious ideas they were never allowed to examine. Sometimes the path towards freedom begins with that simple question: does this actually make sense? And the 10th commandment, thou shalt always bring it back to beloved community. Parents do not have to do this all alone. Thank God. Thank Buddha. Because the questions keep coming. The questions deepen. The culture is loud. Families are complicated. Certainties clash. Children grow. Adults carry their own wounds. It is a lot. So the final commandment is this. Yes, there's not 12 commandments, but 10. The final commandment is this: remember the larger we. That is what religious community is for. It is a place where no one has to carry the burden of meaning-making alone. A place where children can keep asking the hard questions. A place where adults can keep growing. A place where searching is not punished. A place where wisdom is shared. Practices are modeled. Courage is renewed. The religious community matters because by ourselves, our vision narrows. Together, it widens. And perhaps that is the deepest truth beneath all 10 commandments. Yes, today's sermon is about talking with kids about religion. It is about what parents owe children and what children need from parents. but it's also about something larger. It's about how to speak about ultimate things without coercion, how to honor freedom without lapsing into silence, how to tell the truth without closing the door, how to make room for wonder, thought, conscience, and love. Children need that from us. So do adults. So do all of us. And together, by grace and by practice, we can become the kind of people who know how to offer it. Amen. Lonely, I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. May we go from this place honoring the many forms of mothering by which life is sheltered, strengthened, and set free. We give thanks for those who have nurtured us with tenderness, patience, courage, truth, and for those who have mothered without the title, and for all who help children and adults alike ask their questions without fear. We also make room for this in this day, for mothering that has been painful, folks whose memories are marked by absence, hurt, or harm, may know easy sentiment, silence what is true. May we become a people who protect without controlling, guide without coercing, speak honestly without cruelty, and widen the circle until no one is left alone in the dark. So may it be.
We extinguish this flame, but
not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry with us until we meet again.